But I've already eaten some. Okay. Well, okay.
Gotcha, bitch. Game over, yeah.
A Twitter? Sorry, twatter. Did I even have a twatter? Oi, you twat. I'm a Twitter your twatter. What? I'm a twatter your Twitter. The many quotes of Game Busters J. Ho! Ho! Grenades, okay. Is that a hammer? What the hell? I got juggled by bombs. Gotta speed up.
Sonic, hit Dark Gaia's weak spot, quick, while I hold him back.
I don't have my sound board on. Oh. Oh. Tifa! Just do it. What? No, he teleported. No, why did you teleport? No. Oh, no. No, I don't die. I thought I was dying before. Oh my god. Bro. Oh my god. Holy shit. It might have been like the longest one because I have descended to hell. The void is claiming me. It's Kirby. Oh no, he's eating Batman. Fuck. What? Bruh, I look. What? No. Oh.
Psych!
Alrighty, I managed to get out a Wednesday stream. When you're watching this, it's a Wednesday stream if you happen to be watching this on an archive. So yeah. One thing I'm just gonna do, because I think I've learned something here. I'm just gonna do a quick test. Right, that should do. That should do. Alrighty. Give me 2 seconds. I'll do a quick test. Alright, it seems okay for now. I can't really tell if things go faulty and go delayed in stream, but we'll just have to see. Alright. Okay. I don't really think there's really much to say here. Really, we'll just get straight into it. We're doing more slog while talking about any old shit, really, to keep me sane in this playthrough. So we'll just get it. We'll just get going. Okay. All right. Another session of getting all the A ranks. We're continuing the shadow portion. If we do finish the shadow portion, we'll do the Amy portion. But yeah, we're almost halfway, kinda. but it really depends on how much I have to do, and it's quite a bit. So let's just get into it. Bullet Station. I don't have the score up right now. I'm just gonna, you know, I might do that in a minute, but it's just gonna be one of those things where I'm just gonna try and get as much points as I can and hope that I get whatever it is I need to get. Really. Okay. Good start. What do you think? Good start? Good start. Alright. Anaya charge. Come here. Well, okay, at least I can't die by going down there. But there you go. Slightly random news, I guess, but I don't think anyone here is really a DBZ fan. But I still, on occasion, play Dokkan, mostly for like big celebrations. And they just announced the next sort of big celebration, and I'm a bit disappointed about it. I'll be honest. I kind of knew what it was going to be, and for me, I was very like, are we doing this again and so soon? So I was a little bit like oh, we're doing this again and so soon. And then debatably, I think they might have made it arguably worse than I thought, where I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting this, to the point where oh, it does work if you do that. Yeah, to the point where I was like, oh, so I was already kind of, my hype levels was a bit low, and then they did what they did, and I think my hype levels are, well, even lower. So in case people don't know, Dokkan Battle is a gacha game. That was the first one I played, actually. Thank God. Now I play Evercrossers, but let's hope it never goes beyond that, shall we say? I'm going to ignore these enemies. Hope that we're good. But yeah, I'm kind of like whatever with what's been presented. Now with these sort of celebrations, they do a part 1 and a part 2. We don't know what part 2 is, so maybe part 2 will get me interested. Maybe it won't. I don't always say this, but whenever something isn't super hype for me, I will attempt to skip, but I'll more than likely put some summons into it anyway, especially if they're good, because it's just kind of like it's like staying relevant, right? It's like, oh hey, new units, and then you have new events, and then it's like, if you don't have the new units, you may struggle a lot more with these events because they're designed around the new units. It's like a new meta, you know? They introduce a new meta, and then it's like, yeah, if you don't have the new meta, then it's designed so that it's designed so that you know, may struggle a bit, right? Is this the same? I forget if it is. Don't do that. That's not what I want you to do. Which one's which? I think this is the same as Team Sonics. I forget, so. Alright. Yeah, we're good. I actually don't know if it's better to ignore that stuff, but you're gonna crash anyway, or not. So you know, bit disappointed about my gacha game, but oh well. It is what it is. I'm hoping that that is a weird thing to say, but I'm kind of hoping they're not that good. Which is a problem in itself. If they're not good, then that's another problem. But I'm only saying it because I want to give them give me even less reason to want to put my in-game currency into this and just save it for whatever's next and hope that whatever's next is more appealing to me. Because I am kind of tired. It does in a way sort of feel like we're rehashing a bit too much. And don't get me wrong, if anybody knows Dokkan or Dragon Ball Z, there are things that get rehashed. Dude, they're rehashing things in certain new stuff, you know? If anyone's watched Superhero, you'll know what I mean by rehashing. But like, they, you know, sometimes they do get creative and they do come up with a lot of hype stuff where I'm like, oh, they're doing this with this character, it's this again, and a lot of it's like, you know, if anyone knows Dragon Ball, you know, the hype stuff is like Goku, Vegeta doing cool stuff and fusions, right, and like maybe Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, right, things like that, sort of hype stuff. No Kid Buu, I'm still waiting for that. Oh, what the fuck? You're terrible, Omega. Whatever. I guess get into the cannon, I guess. I'm trying to destroy enemies to get more points, but good. What about the giant spikes? Good. Ouch.
That cannon sure came in handy.
Yeah, but a bit scary.
Hooray, it's a J that is live. It is. That's not how you spell my name, though. But I'll let you off.
But still no match.
Here they come.
I was actually tempted to change my name to just the letter J so that no one can get it wrong. And I'll just say that it's literally the letter J. There's no other word. It's just the letter J. You know, like, you can say J, right, in the alphabet, and that's how you know. I didn't even do this, but I was live on Monday as well. I don't think I need to do this, but I'm doing it anyway. Yeah.
Doesn't look like we'll be able to move on.
You're right, because we'll die.
Let's get moving.
No problem. Let's light speed dash to our deaths. There's a lot of J's out there. And they're spelled differently. Yes, just looks like there's a lot of JAYs out there. I actually met another J that spelled JAE. And it was the first time I ever knew there was a J that spelled JAE. In fact, for those of you who know, but the British soap Emmerdale has a J in it, and his is spelled exactly like mine, JAI. And fun fact, for those of you who don't know, the reason why my name is spelt like that was, in my mum's words, she wanted to be different. I think the only thing is that she didn't realize that she actually isn't as different as she thought, because there are people, you know, who are spelt like that. It seems to be, I notice a lot of Indian people, if they are called J, they are spelt J-A-I. And it is pronounced J. No, I'm not Indian, but I'm just saying. My mum said she wanted to be different. And it's not, but it's not as different as she, it's not as different as she thought it was. But... Dude, I didn't fucking see that shit. I did not see that shit. Whatever. We're fine. Ah, it's alright. You're really not missing much. This is just the somewhat boring cleanup where, okay, sure, there'll be the occasional fail because I'll probably fall off the edge like 50 times because that's just how this game is. You fall off the edge. I'd be surprised if someone didn't fall off the edge in this game because, you know, it's just how it is. But I mean, if you've seen one fall off the edge, you've seen them all, right? I appreciate people stopping by and stuff, but I also don't blame people for just skipping these streams because unless we have some fun conversations that it's like, oh yeah, you know, you're only gonna get like unhinged J in these sort of streams or some shit, right? You know, unless something interesting happens other than the game, you know, I don't blame someone for being like, I'm not gonna watch this, or even if you just want to like chill, you know. Maybe if you're looking for a chill stream, we're not really doing much, then you might pop in, talk about Sonic, talk about something else, I don't know, whatever you want to talk about. I don't know where I am with this, but we'll see. Yes, I'm actively telling people not to watch my streams. Only I would do that. Only I would tell people not to watch me. Oh, that was terrible. This proves that you suck, Omega. You didn't get it. So is it... It's got to be like 550 or whatever, right? Let's have a look. No, it's 55. Dude, I wasn't even close. I knew I should have killed those damn enemies that I kept missing. I knew it. I bloody knew it. I wasn't even close, dude. I weren't even close. I probably shouldn't even got to be there. Well, that's not good. We need to get more points. We need to get a lot more points somehow. I need to drink more water. That's what I need to do. Yeah. What I will say is, don't watch my live streams, but watch my videos. watch my Crash Bandicoot retrospective. No, I'm now working on this. Now working on the second, which will hopefully get done sooner rather than later. I'm not gonna lie. With how things have been lately, I've been feeling a bit like procrastinating. My energies have been kind of low, and my motivation has been low as well. So I've kind of I have to like force myself, because if I don't, nothing will get done. But I hate feeling like that. But sometimes you know, sometimes it is what it is, right? You have those days where you're just like, man, I ain't got no juice, brother. The drive's just not there. But if I don't force myself to do something, then I'm just gonna not do anything. Nothing will get done, you know? Nothing will get done. Well, that's lovely. Thanks for launching me into this mech. Like that. Thanks. I got it? Yeah. know, you just get those days, don't you, where you just you know, you don't have the motivation.
It looks fun.
You're like, man, I don't want to go to work today, but I have to. God damn it.
Level up.
Let's try and take out. Let's try and take these guys out first. There we go.
Which way is the cannon facing?
I've been feeling like that a lot lately. Sometimes they can be like stress related, other things can happen, right?
Level up.
I'm definitely been feeling that. And I'm like, ugh, I don't want to be like that though. I don't. I promise you that I don't. I'm gonna do this. If you let me. That is. Nothing. So they want me to do like, how are you supposed to?
For a wall using common attack with Shadow as the leader. Press the X button for triangle jump.
Hmm.
Use the left analog
Oh,
stick to
well,
change the jump
don't worry about it. Maybe I don't need it. Hopefully I don't. I don't know. I don't know where I've gone wrong. That's the thing. Get down there, Omega. You're fine. There's no danger. Like I say, just kill more enemies.
Why don't we try it?
Lovely. Couldn't react in time. Also, maybe try and get more rings and try not to lose them. That's a lot. Fire, fire.
What's this?
I did call the repair place about my PS5 and they said they would try to get back to me. So, I just kind of want to know where I am with my PS5. How long it's going to take. If they can even fix it. And honestly, I would like to know what a price range would be. Like, how bad is the damage going to be? You know. I know I can go to the bottom, but I just figured this would be better. But maybe it's not. Maybe I need the Chaos Control more. You know? Like, I'm probably missing out on enemies, but... Okay. Well, you deserve that, Omega, because I was doing the thing and you weren't doing the thing. But I was trying to get you to do the thing. And you just wouldn't do it. Just trying to get points wherever I can. Really. Nothing's really happened between the two days, I'm afraid. I haven't won the lottery or anything. Not yet, anyway. Did I know that dude was up there? Maybe I did. Perhaps I did. Don't know. Well, hopefully you guys are having a okay middle of the week for Wednesday. It's one thing I can say is that it is cooler today, which I'm grateful for. It's still a bit stuffy, but it's not as bad as it was yesterday. Yesterday was not good. I didn't sleep very well, but today seems a lot better. I can manage with this a lot better. Jump out, please. Good. That's fine. We'll fall. We'll fall because I want to. Swap. Did I take him out? I did. It's funny because I'm seeing some memes on Twitter about Rouge and her design. and how they've sort of changed her over the years. And the only reason why I laugh is because I feel like this is nothing new. They've definitely like continuously nerfed her, shall we say. I say nerfed her, but you know, changed her design. But I think it's just, I just find it interesting. I think it was because of Shadow Generations. So, for those of you who don't know, right, if you look at Rouge's regular design, right, that sort of heart-shaped arm with like the, I don't know what you call, I don't know if it's latex, but the black suit that she's, the black clothing that she's wearing with the boots, right, it's her like iconic sort of design, right? Well, in Shadow Generations, or Sonic Generations Remastered, I guess, for some reason they felt like they needed to nerf, well, they needed to like censor her even more than like, I honestly think, because okay, here's the thing, you understand what kind of character she is, right? You play Sonic Adventure 2, right, and you understand what type of character she is. You also understand why she's kind of designed the way she. I was like, why is this guy not dying? He has like plot armor. What's going on here? Weird. That was weird. That was very weird. You kind of understand what she's all about. Her design kind of goes in turn with her personality and how she is, right? And sometimes they play on that, you know, where they're like, you know, she is somewhat supposed to be the charming Batgirl because that's kind of her whole stick, right? Or part of her stick, I should say, right? Think of it almost like Catwoman from the Batman series, but I would argue even more toned. Like if Catwoman was somewhat toned down, not completely, but you know, it's the same. It's a similar premise, right? It's a similar premise where you don't know if you can trust her because really all she wants is jewels, and she's like stealing jewels and shit. But at the same time, she's got the skills, and she's, you know, she's a really good spy, and so she occasionally works with like the government and the president, right? But you can't fully trust her because she'll probably steal a Chaos Emerald or two and keep it to herself. And but she's probably good, really. It's just she's, you know, maybe a little chaotic at times, shall we say. A bit like Shadow, where Shadow's kind of, he does good, but he's kind of like chaotic good. Having an alright week? Yeah, like average, I suppose, right? So average week. Whoa. Well, whatever you're doing, whether it's work, education, or not doing anything like me, hopefully, you know, I guess you're halfway through the week. Hopefully you can have like a weekend off or something. Oh, God. Unless you're unfortunately working on the weekend, like most of my jobs were. Or just have something to look forward to, right? Alright, there we go. Whatever that might be. But yeah, so anyway, you understand what kind of character Rouge is, right? Why she's designed the way she is. I mean, she's designed differently in this game. The problem is, it is part of her character. So if you take that away, or if you change her so much, it kind of takes away as part of her character. And no, I don't mean her babs per se. It's not quite what I mean. But I mean like her design and stuff. Like, so Sega for some reason in the remake, or sorry, the remaster of Sonic Generations with Shadow in it, right? for some reason, they felt the need that they had to go back to Rouge's design again, which they've done several times, and as essentially we're like, hey, we need to censor her even more. But do you know what they did? They just pulled her black part of her suit up. They just pulled it up. And it was a very just it was a very what's the word, it was a very shoddily edit, because people were saying how now Rouge's black suit, because it's not designed this way, is like clipping like over in her wings or in her skin. So it's a very shoddily, so it's not even like a clean edit. You can tell that they've tampered with the model, with the suit, and it isn't even done in a very like professional, polished way. It's just, you know what I mean? It's like a Photoshop edit, a very poor Photoshop edit. It was done very shoddily, and it's just it's very funny. It's like, why did they do that? One, why do they feel the need to censor her even more? She's not Bayonetta. She's not Bayonetta bad. She's not Catwoman bad, really. You could argue that back in Adventure 2 she was debatably, right? Again, Adventure 2 is the most, quote-unquote, I guess, provocative, shall we say, Rouge. And they changed her after that. They kept changing her after that, right? Really. There was a little bit of it in Sonic X, I suppose, but oh, this. All right, let's do. But I just think it's funny. You know, it's like, put it this way. Imagine, I don't know. Imagine they looked at Catwoman's design and were like, she always wear these tight black suits, and she always has boobs, and she always has like the big cleavage where her suit's slightly open and you got like a nice boob window. Well, imagine they're like, now we can't have that, right? So do you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna have her zip up her top for starters, right? We'll probably make her boobs flat. And someone had a somewhat interesting take on that. Although a lot of people wouldn't believe on this take, but I'll talk about it a bit. Look, we need to talk about something, all right? I don't know what else to talk about, so this is what we're talking about. God, the slowdown. I'm just trying to grab the thing. God. I'm gonna wait for you to come back. Come back, please. Anyway, I'll read your comment in a minute, Darkon. Yeah, it's like, take Catwoman. The fact that that still hits me really is stupid. Oh, God. Wait. Okay, whatever. Yeah, so makes Catwoman's boobs smaller, zip her suit up, potentially change the suit in general so it doesn't so all that appeal is just gone. Which again, right, I have to point out, she's like that for a reason. That's part of her character. Okay, yeah, sure. Catwoman has different designs anyway. She has different outfits. But the whole, like, sort of sexual, provocative appeal is literally the whole point. It's part of her character. That's literally it. She's supposed to be like that because, you know, she's like, as they say, she's kind of like a naughty kitten, right? She's like a naughty cat. She charms her enemies, and then she'll absolutely claw out your eyes and steal your lunch money, you know, and the milk out of your fridge because she's a cat. That's kind of her whole thing, right? Like, you can't, like, she's, like, you would be charmed and tempted by her looks and her flattery and, you know, her trying to, you know, win you over and all this and that. and then she'd find a way to get out of prison because the guard got charmed by her. I'm gonna wait for you to come back to me. Anyway, just imagine that. Get your ass over here. What are you doing? You shit. Oh, fine. This is just wasting time. Get over here. Now stay still. But yeah, so... Get up. Just do it. But yeah, so heavily nerfed. I don't know what the time is. I don't know if I'm wasting my time. I probably am. IVGS, but yeah, let's take away part of the character. That censor her so bad that you it's like you don't even recognize the character anymore. And you kind of lose part of what made the character, and you're like, oh, okay. I don't know. You just gotta think, Rouge is now designed for good little boys and good little girls, as Sakurai once said. But like the editing feels unnecessary. She's already been censored to high hell, and then Sega are just kind of like, we're gonna censor her again, and it's like, but I don't think she really needs to be censored anymore. She's been censored enough. If you like, you know what I mean? It's like, at that point, is it really Rouge? You know? Again, I'm just saying, right? And yes, I'm slightly biased, but if they took Bayonetta's sex appeal away, I'd be fucking pissed. I'd be like, what? That's part of her identity. That's literally her shtick. And okay, is Bayonetta a good comparison? No, because Bayonetta is literally a game designed for adults, a mature audience, whereas Sonic is not supposed to be. So I can understand, like I said, Adventure 2 Rouge was a little much. We love her for it. But if you think that Sonic's supposed to be a kid to a teenage game, Rouge was, as some people would say, maybe some boys' awakenings, shall we say. Might have been some of their awakenings, like how Torna was kind of partially my awakening, as it were. And we all know what happened to her, didn't we? She was in one game, and then they never brought her back. And then they were like, nah, Crash can't have his hot girlfriend anymore. This is supposed to be a kid's game. Replace him, give him a sister instead. Gotcha. So there you go. I just think it's funny. I just think it's funny, really. It just, I don't know what Sega is scared for. I don't know if they're getting like hate mail from parents or something, and they're like, this character is super provocative, and it's like, bro, this isn't the 2000s. This isn't Adventure 2 Rouge. She's not that bad, really. What do you mean? She's fine. You know, she's fine. But yeah, I did have another point, but I want to read Dark End's. I want to read Dark End's comment. When you said Batman, the first thing that came to mind was Killer Croc. I threw a rock at him. This is why I don't deal with modern gaming much these days. And when after they are done butchering and censoring your favorite characters, I want to understand who I am. I'm losing precious time, so I better pause. Yeah. Turn that E into an A. That's the goal. That's what we're trying to do. Hopefully. Well, it's not hopefully, I will eventually, but you know, if I can do it more or less straight away, I'd appreciate it and not have to repeat it. But gotta remember to hold forward, because I think the last time I didn't and I kept dying. That was embarrassing. Alright. Okay, it's just... Alright. I mean, honestly, and I mostly joke when I say that. And EA, oh god. Can we not talk about EA? I mostly joke about this, but clearly Sega should be more like Capcom and embrace the goon. And embrace and embrace the fan base, and that clearly they like you know, they like women in more ways than one, shall we say. Oh. Well, they should clearly just embrace it. They should do what, I mean, honestly, this is what they're doing with modern gaming a lot of the time now. You know, they're making these big action games, but but more females are being prominent either as main characters or you know, they're involved in some shape or form, and some, you know, some would argue they are clearly designed a certain way, as in they're probably been mocapped by a model, so it's probably based on like some sort of super hot model or whatever, and they're like, people will like her because it's some super hot model, and this super hot model is, well, super hot, so they're gonna like her, right? Right? That's how that works, right? Like how Stellar Blade is based off of, I believe, a Chinese model, and I'm not surprised. Obviously, like, I don't know if her entire design is exactly the same, but it's based off of a Chinese model, which doesn't surprise me. You know, get an attractive woman, or what society considers to be attractive, and then they're like, well, no one wants to play a quote-unquote unattractive character, right? So we'll just get models to mocap our characters and then just put them in the game, and then our game will sell super hard, and then we'll throw a bunch of suggestive costumes and a bunch of ass shots. I'm specifically kind of just I'm mostly like taking the sort of I'm joking, taking the piss, and this is not just Stellar Blade, but this is because Stellar Blade is just near. Stellar Blade is literally just Nier Automata. Nier Automata did the same thing, and Stellar Blade is just copying that. But I'm mostly like, I'm in jest, right? I don't really care what they do. I'm just saying that's just Stellar Blade is just one example, or one modern game example. But then, like, there's another Chinese studio who there's another Chinese studio, right? That is making a game that's, I say, loosely based off of the King Arthur, the British history, the King Arthur era. But the main character is a girl, and she's quote unquote hot. She's probably like based off of some British model that I've never heard of or something. I say hot as in like, I'm kind of either or, I suppose. Like, I don't think she's unattractive, but I just, when I say hot, I mean, you know, they chose this design for, they know, like, they made this design because it's the whole, like, we can't have quote-unquote ugly characters because no one wants to play ugly characters. These women and these men have to look a certain way. They just have to. Why do you think all the men and the women love the Final Fantasy characters? Because in society's eyes, they are attractive. In society's eyes, They are attractive. I'm trying to hit this damn turtle. You know?
I'll take it from here.
And if they were quote unquote, and I hate using this word, but ugly, then clearly no one would play the game, right? I'm not saying no one would, but that's what like, you know, society will lead you to believe, and that's probably what the devs feel, where they're like, we gotta have these characters look a certain way. Not all the time though, not all the time to be fair, but I'm just saying, right? If you want your game to be popular, one, you need a female. Two, she needs to be hot. And that's just easy. That's just fucking easier attention. It just is. It just is. I'm telling you right now, and I know you've played this VGS, so I don't know how you feel about this game, but if the character in Stellar Blade wasn't quote unquote hot, she would lose a lot of appeal.
Anytime now.
She just would. I don't care what anyone says, she just would. She just would. I'm not saying that for me specifically, because I've got no opinion, because I've never played the game. But a lot of people wouldn't pay nearly as much as attention if she didn't look the way she does. As I was listening to someone's podcast, and they were saying, I know nothing about Stellar Blade other than the fact that all I seem to hear is that fans want to fuck the main character. I'm just being brutally honest. And I was like, it's true. That's what it is. They're like, I know nothing about the game, but all I hear is that the fans want to fuck the main character. It's fucking true, dude. It's true. I'm not necessarily saying it's a good or a bad thing, but that's what it's like, right? I'm saying this new game is clearly designed this character in a way because they're like, yeah, we need the goon squad. Stop Black Tornadoing the fucking. Get the turtle, you dumbass hedgehog. Ultimate life form, more like ultimate failure. Yeah, I said it. Maria would be disappointed in you. Ultimate fucking ultimate disappointment, more like it. I'm salty. Anyway, yeah, and like, I bet you anything, this new Chinese game with this character isn't out yet, but if there aren't like 50 million costumes and a lot of them aren't provocative in some sort of way, I'd be fucking surprised. Because they know. Some of these devs know. They you know what I mean? Capcom knows. That's why they embrace it at this point, you know? They're like, nah, man. These provocative costumes sell, you know? People like this. It's true. That's just how things are. It's true. It is true. Unfortunately, that is just how society is. You can't tell me otherwise. we are all part of the problem, you know. And some people wouldn't call that a problem, but you know, I'm just saying.
This is a bit too much.
Jesus. Destroy the turtle. For me, it's just like one of those. It's just one of those things where it's like, to me, the most important thing is the gameplay. I'd be more bothered about a character that's annoying and insufferable than, you know, whether they look like, I don't know, I'm just trying to think of someone. I can't think of like a model, maybe, but like, I don't know, Scarlett Johansson. I'm just thinking like maybe someone who'd find, you know, probably a somewhat attractive lady amongst the acting industry, right? Oh, for fuck's sake, bro. Okay, I'm not dead. I'm not dead! No! Fucking shit.
I shall find the answer to who I
I think I should stop talking now. Because someone's like, you need to stop. You need to be stopped. Fucking hell.
There are supposed to be foes
Whatever.
in this jungle that can summon
Well,
rain. This is a bit too much.
I mean, I'm just being honest. If I was in game development, I would probably have a hot female. But just being honest. Now, I'm not even talking about like gooning for myself. I'm just saying, like, I know, right? That you know, I know how it's just gonna go. If I have a hot female in my game, I just know. I know where it's gonna go. It's sad, but it's true. It's true. You know, or a hot bloke or whatever. You know, I. Tell me I'm wrong. You can't say I'm wrong.
Did you guys hear a croak?
Well, as I said, part of you know, part of the appeal for me for Bayonetta. I find her attractive. Does Bayonetta have somewhat strange proportions? Yes, she does. Because I think they were trying to go for a very tall model like women, but a lot of people find her attractive. But that's kind of the point, right? It's just so many people find the androids of the Nier games attractive. You think of any sort of game, right? You know, Street Fighter, Dead or Alive, right? That's just how it is, man. Let's see. It's been that way for a long time with Capcom. Resident Evil Remake came out 20 years ago. Geo Valentine modeled after Julia Voth. And of course, we got Onimusha Games 2. Oh, yeah, well, like I say, it's been as early as Street Fighter has existed, right? Or King of Fighters with Mai Shiranui. It's like fucking as soon as she existed, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's been around for a long ass time. I can't remember what that new game is called though. I don't remember. The gameplay looked neat, I suppose, but I'll need to actually see more to see if it's more than just a Guna game. I don't think it's a Guna game. But then, like, you have the high-end action of Stellar Blade as well as Nier Automata, and someone could still argue that those two are both Guna games, especially with all the ass shots. Same with Bayonetta, right? Bayonetta is packed with action, but there's a lot of sexual tension and appeal in that, because that's the theme of the game. So it's just kind of like... It's kind of like... It's kind of a Guna game, but at the same time, there's actual action and story here. I promise you, it's not just a Guna game. I promise. I hate the word Guna, dude. Fucking society, dude. Society. The internet is the problem. We are the problem. Alright. Is it Chinese or is it Korean? To be honest, Footloose, VGS, I don't remember. It could be Korean. The problem is I don't really remember what the game is called at all. So I apologize if I've got it wrong and I've offended someone. Hopefully not, but I'm not sure. I thought it was a Chinese studio, but it might not be. Might have made a mistake with it being Korean. It's not Japanese, I can tell you that. But I also, this is another thing, and this is less on sexual appeal and censoring women in video games. I find it interesting when we depict other people's histories. It's like Americans depicting British history, or British people depicting American history, and it's like, how accurate is that, right? you have a game like Wukong that is designed by the Chinese, and a lot of people in China are saying it seems to be pretty faithful to the lore of Wukong. And you'd hope it would, I suppose, because it's made by a Chinese team depicting Chinese history. But then you get this new game that is made by either Chinese or Korean people, and they're trying to loosely based off of British history. And I think to myself, I find that interesting because, like, how accurate is that? Because you're not actually British, right? You're not part of England. So really, you're only going by what you've maybe read or heard of, right? You might, okay, you can do research and you look stuff up, but there's still only so much you can know. Granted, I'm not exactly an expert on I'm British, and I'm not exactly an expert on that history, but at the same time, I have learned some of that stuff in school, right? Because it is British history, right? At least I did in my generation. That's probably, I don't know what kids are learning now in school, but I'll take it from you. Oh God, please stop. Boop, 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 boop. That should get everything. Reloaded. But yeah, I just find that interesting, right?
This is a bit too much.
It's like how some people say that the Japanese think that Americans have, like, all Americans look like this, or all British people look like that, and it's kind of partially a joke because it's not true, but it's like it's just how they're interpreting that this is how we all look, and it's not, right? But it's a joke. It's clearly just like we all look like this, right? And it's like, nah, no, we really don't.
There's someone there.
Do I miss Footloose? No. I guess I'm just used to him being in the chats, and so I just, I did that with Bullet before as well, when Bullet used to be in the stream a lot. What time is it? Okay. I didn't really like that performance, but we'll see how we go. No one wants to play ugly characters. Horizon Zero Dawn enters this chat. I'm glad you brought that up, VGS. Actually, because that's good reasoning, actually. Because that is like a B. No, it was an A. Oh, thank God. Now I don't know how popular Horizon Zero Dawn is. I haven't played it. I don't know if you've played it. I don't know if it's any good. But that's what some people on the internet were doing at one point, where there are like, here's a quote unquote, a character designed by like Japan or Korea or some sort of Asian country, China or whatever, and she's probably designed with like big boobs and like model body and hairstyled a certain way, clothes a certain way. And then here's the main character of Horizon, and they're basically saying the main character of Horizon, they're like, here's the Western character. They're basically saying the main character of Horizon is unattractive, and that people don't want to play a game with a character that's unattractive like her. I'm not saying she is. That's not me saying that. I'm just, this is society. This is the internet. This is these other generations. This is part of the problem, right? Where again, they're literally like, we don't want to play games like that. Again, I bring up this quote. Apparently, Nomura, when he was younger, and a lot of this doesn't really make sense to me, but don't worry about it. Nomura, in case you guys don't know, one of the main developers of the original Final Fantasy VII, and he works on the remake series and such, right? Even works on Advent Children, the film. Basically said in an interview that when he was younger, right, I think one of his friends was playing a game on something, and he said his friend was upset, or something like that, and he said, "What's wrong?" And he said, "I don't like playing this game." And Nomura said, "Why?" "I don't want to play this game because the character is ugly." And they essentially said, "I'm ugly. Why would I want to play a game with a character who's also ugly?" And apparently that stuck with Nomura. So he's like, I need to define what is ugly and what people find attractive, and I just need to make all my Final Fantasy characters hot as fuck. This is apparently what Nomura said. Because one of his friends when he was little told him, "I want to play as ugly character," and he's like, "Well, when I make a video game, I better make these characters hot as fuck." I'm just saying as one example, but I'm just saying, it's just like, okay, alright, sure, whatever. I'm just saying, I'd play a game with me in it. I'm just saying. Just saying. But no, I don't like it, because to me it's just kind of like the main thing should be, in my opinion, the gameplay. If the game's fucking fun, right, I don't really care too much about what the character looks like, really. I mean, okay, sure, there's a little bit, you can say there's a little bit of appeal, but a character doesn't have to look a certain way for me to like the character, you know? A lot of the time for me, it's less like sexual appeal and attractiveness and more, is the character cool, right? Is the character cool? That's more my thing. Maybe it's because I'm a boy, because I'm a 30-year-old boy. But my whole thing has always been, does the character look cool? Do they do cool? Hang on a second. Something's happened. Don't worry. Nothing to you guys. That's better. That's my thing. I've said this before, and VGS knows I've said it before, so I won't harp on it. But one of the characters I thought was cool, and yes, I would argue that she is designed in a way to be attractive because it's Japan, and you know, a lot of the time you have attractive anime characters, and this is a Japanese game. But one of the characters in Dragon Quest XI, right? She is a fighter. She's a martial artist. But to me, I felt like there was a lot of potential interesting. Well, interesting. There was a certain appeal to her. There was certain like mystery, right? She was trying to be charming, but also kind of cheeky, right? And also an absolute badass, right? Where, you know, it kind of gave off this whole like, oh, I'd let her mess me up. I'd let her beat the shit out of me. Oh shit. She's talking to you on the phone. She's got that sensual voice, and she's like, "I'm gonna absolutely destroy you," and you're like, "Please do." But then, after this whole like, this is what they're going for, this character. To me, I just kind of feel like she became a wet tissue. Like I just kind of felt like there was just, she's kind of reduced to this. Oh hey, oh I feel bad about the main character because I wasn't good to him, and now I'm gonna try and be like a sort of like a big sister to him and stuff. But then there's just nothing to her character, and I just feel like the coolness she had, right? The energy, the sort of I'm a bad bitch type of shit. Like, you don't want to mess with me, you know? But damn, she's so pretty though. And they even make a joke about it, right? They even make a joke about it where one of your party members goes up against her, and Veronica is like, "You were too distracted by her legs. You're a typical guy. You were too distracted by her legs. I suppose you just couldn't keep our eyes off of her legs." And the dude, what is happening? Dude, There's some sort of weird fucking glitch. 12, by the way? What are you talking about? Huh? What? What are you talking about, man? 12 what? I didn't say anything, did I? Out of context? But, yeah, anyway, she's like, oh, you know... Anyway, yeah, to me, and I know, I'm sure there are some people who really love Jade, and maybe they see something in her that I don't see it, but I just feel like there wasn't really much to her character, right, after the beginning, where I was like, I feel like there's something that could be there with this character. This character could be really cool. You said Dragon Quest 11? It's 12? No, it's not. It's 11. Dragon Quest 12 isn't out. It's Dragon Quest 11, dude. Dragon Quest 12 got announced, right? But we haven't heard anything since. I'm talking about Dragon Quest 11. 12's not even out. Yeah, I'm sorry, you're wrong in this case, Darkan. There is no Dragon Quest 12 yet. It's Dragon Quest 11.
Doesn't look like we'll be able to move on.
Maybe someone gaslighted you into thinking that 12 is out, but there is no out. There is no 12. I don't know my Roman numerals. It's 11, not 12. Roman numerals for 12 would be X and then 2 lines. For 11, it's 1 line. But you know, and like, I like Jade's design. I think it's a neat design, right? It's a nice sort of martial artist sort of gear she's got going on, and you know, she's even got like the whole like sort of Chun-Li. The whole thing is her is kicking. She kicks a lot, but I just feel like they just don't really do much with that, and it's such a shame, you know, because I usually like these sort of badass women, and I'm just like, man. I just don't really like. I don't know, man. It's just not there. I wish it was, and I just don't feel like it was there with it. But anyway, that's my thing. I usually like badass women, and if they happen to be appealing to me, that's a bonus, right? That's kind of a bonus, but that's just me, right? But then there are also games that are literally designed in a way where it's like, look, this is just the game where these characters are designed like this on purpose. And you play them because they're designed like this on purpose. And that's fair enough, right? You know what you like. You know what you want. You know, someone says like, oh, I play this for the content. And the content being the attractive female and her mini costumes. It's like, yeah, fair enough. Right. There's nothing wrong with that. I play Dead or Alive Beach Edition or whatever for the content. Yeah, of course you do. You know why you bought it. You know? Oh, interesting. Good. All right. Team up attack. Oh, the camera angle is not doing me any favors. It really isn't. I can't remember what the point I was trying to make, but well, I was just saying, like, I guess like different appeals for different things, right? I'm usually about cool with my characters, but really, I just want the gameplay to be fun, to be good, right? Again, most of the time I say this with me. Most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. Yeah, I knew this was going to happen because they put me in a... Why do they put you in such a small freaking area, dude? They put you in such a small area and expect you to be able to deal with this shit. It's so annoying. You know? So annoying. I thought she was Max, but she wasn't.
There he is again.
Yeah, it's very observant. I think clearly what I'm trying to say is that we need to play more, we need to play more games with quote unquote unattractive characters. But what you find attractive or unattractive, somebody else will find attractive, such unattractive. So, you know, it's all in the eyes of the beholder, as they say. Oh, before I died, I thought that was it. Yeah, I think my my favorite female character in Dragon Quest XI ended up being not one of the main characters. They're like a sort of side character. They are part of the story, but they're not like a party member. You see them every now and again. She ended up being my favorite character. And if it's not, even if it's someone from the main cast, it might be Veronica, because Veronica's got a lot of sass, and I like her sass. She's a fun character. She's got a lot of sass, but she can kind of back up her sass, right? I like her sister, but she's a little too, I guess, a little too, like, maiden, angel, perfect in every way. Sort of like, oh, I'm like the kindest, most gentlest soul. And it's like, all right, like, we like Serena because she's very, very, very sweet. But that's kind of really her entire character and nothing else. She's just very, very, very sweet. And sort of somewhat of a... Oh, that was terrible. What?
Not taking this serious.
No, I'm clearly not taking it. Did I die and I weren't paying attention? What happened? Did I die and just continued? That was dog shit. Am I talking so much that I just wasn't paying attention? Maybe. I need some water. What happened? I know the Roman numerals can get, you know, can get confusing. I actually, in my parents' house, which is the house I'm in right now, we still have a clock with Roman numerals as numbers to tell the time. Instead of like, you know, 1, 2, 3, you know. There's still like actual Roman numerals in that. Whew. 1 second. Yeah. No, that's not it, is it? What was it? You know, I'm trying to find that game I was referencing and I can't find it. I can't find it. Sadly, I just nah. Google is failing me. I can't find any information on it. I need to know the name of the game or something. But searching for Chinese new Chinese video game or Korean video game does not give me any useful results, sadly. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened, but we're gonna have to try that again.
I'm counting on you guys.
I don't know how I got such a low score. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. I don't know what happened. Oh, that's interesting. I actually have less points in this one. 35,000. Is that right?
It's a swamp, so be careful.
No. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. 40,000. I don't know what happened. Right. Anyway.
I'll take it from here.
I'll take it from here.
I'll take it from here.
Here they come.
Omega, attack them.
Eggman's robots must be eliminated. Annihilate.
All right.
Fire, fire. Annihilation. Fire. 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 Fire.
Nice.
Level up.
Good. Oh god.
I'll take it from here.
I'll take it from here.
Omega, attack them.
Annihilate. Fire, fire. Annihilation. Fire. Activation ready. Fire, fire.
There we go.
From here.
Level up.
And I just gotta kill more enemies and make sure I
Come on.
Why
make
would they
sure I
It's no use. Let's check somewhere else.
you know, make sure I don't die and get enough points.
I'll take it from here.
Oh god.
The trap triggers the weight to fall down when the shadow is crossed.
Oh, okay.
level up?
Come on.
Annihilate. Fire. Fire.
I'll take it from here.
There's some weird shenanigans, dude. Where things aren't working the way they should be working. That's for sure.
Chaos control.
But be honest, VGS, if you're still in the chat. Is Stellar Blade actually good? Is the combat actually decent? Does it have, you know, is the story any good? Is the adventure any good?
There's that
Outside of,
again.
well, you know, the main character's appeal, shall we say? Legitimately, I'm just curious. I know everyone has different opinions of things, of course, but I know that apparently the developer is potentially working on a sequel to Stellar Blade. I know that. He said in an interview anyway. But then apparently it is like it is doing pretty well. I think it's got some pretty good sales. Plus it's on PC now, right?
Move on.
Fuck you.
Now's the time.
Annihilate.
Natural.
Out of control. Danger. Deep grade ahead.
What the fucking shit? What? It gets repetitive, but I like it. Okay. It's one of those sort of action games. I feel like it can be quite difficult to make action games somewhat not competitive, right? When you've done the same combat, like, I mean, to be honest, like, I like Devil May Cry 1, but that game's combat is kind of repetitive. There's only so many combos you can do and so many things you can do. And even when you you do get like new weapons to kind of variation and stuff. It's like Bayonetta, to be fair. Bayonetta has a good amount of combos, and you get new weapons, and you get a good amount of combos, and you unlock more combos. And I suppose that's one way to keep the combat fresh, is to, well, give you more combos, right? But like, I like Prince of Persia, but Prince of Persia is repetitive. Like, gameplay and especially combat. Combat is not, I would argue, not Prince of Persia's strong point. Prince of Persia, at least Sands of Time, is one of those games where the combat stuff looks cool like the first few times, but then you're kind of just doing the same thing over and over again, and it doesn't really mix up. They don't really mix it up that much or that well, so then it does become very repetitive very quickly. I remember there was someone who I introduced to of Prince of Persia, and they said they tried it, and they said the game was too repetitive for them. The fighting and the battling and the combat was too repetitive, and I can't blame them for that. I was like, yeah, I was like, you know what, that's fair. That's fair. Especially in Sands of Time, there's so many enemies in that game, so many enemies. Like, for something that you do a lot, which is combat, if it's not combat you do in parkour, there's so much combat in that game, and you do feel like you're just kind of doing the same thing over and over again, without really varying it up, because there's not really much else you can do, right? Don't see the issue with the character's appeal, but if that's a thing, avoid then that's... Hang on. But if that's a thing to avoid, then that's a thing you avoid. I mean, yeah, you know. To be honest, I feel like anyone sort of complaining about that sort of stuff, because I want to point out that me having to talk about this isn't me like complaining about that per se. It's more so that this is just how it is, right? And how some people talk about how, you know, like, you know, people won't play a game if the character looks like this or whatever, right? They gotta look like this. Because, you know, what else you want me to look at, you know? I gotta get my I gotta get my rocks off with one hand and play the game on the other hand, clearly. Like I say, I don't have a problem with characters looking ways that they do. I have my waifus, as it were. I have my characters that I like. I've said that, you know. One of my favorite characters is Tifa, right? For multiple reasons, but yes, and I don't hide this, you know, part of it is her appeal. Me personally, I am personally attracted to Tifa, but Footloose is the opposite. Footloose is the opposite. He prefers Aerith, right? And although I do think Aerith is cute and attractive, she's not on the same level as Tifa for me in terms of personal attraction. But again, we all have different interests of what we think is attractive. That's why I say no one is ugly, right? Everyone is beautiful, because there's always going to be someone, a little bit cliched, but I do believe there's always going to be someone who will actually find you attractive. Heck, dude, I constantly make joke about how I think I'm just kind of like, I'm barely an average looking dude. You know, I've never really had any, luck. I've never really had any luck with girls at school. I kind of felt like I was hated the entire time. Definitely wasn't liked at school. And although I don't really put myself out there, I don't really put in a situation proper where I could be like, oh, like, you know, maybe I'm not as unattractive as I think. You know, instead I get one random moment in one of my jobs where I had the realization that, oh shit, someone thinks I'm appealing. And when you don't find yourself appealing, it's definitely strange for you, because you're like, well, I don't see why you would find me appealing, but for some reason they do. But you know, it's a nice little confidence booster, because it kind of, if you do feel a bit, I guess, insecure about it, you're just kind of like, oh, well, it's nice to know that, you know, someone other than your mother thinks you're handsome, I guess. You know, so yeah, in my town, it's just like, yeah, you know, everyone's just got different appealing, and everyone's attracted to different things, right? Everyone's got different attractions, so that's what it boils down to, right? But that shouldn't be the sole thing about a video game, in my opinion, unless that really is what you're going for, because that's just what you're going for. But I feel like, you know, characters look a certain way because we have been convinced that they have to look a certain way, you know. Whereas I'm sure a game like Horizon is probably a lot of fun, and I'm sure some men and women like the look of the character in an attractive way. But I just don't think that should matter anyway. But that's just me. Anyway, we're playing Sonic Heroes and we're talking about random shit because we've got nothing else to do. Feel free to change the topic whenever you want, though. We can talk about something else. I don't really care. As long as you know, as long as we don't go too off the rails, shall we say? That's a laugh. Wow, 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 wow. I'd say Nier is better gameplay wise, but given its roguelike elements, but story and character wise, like Stellar Blade is better. Story and character wise, interesting. The only thing I'll say interesting, because I've been hearing a lot of feedback on how the story is actually weak in Stellar Blade, like very weak. Of course, I'm sure it's not everyone who thinks that, right? I've just been seeing that a lot on like social media, and people are being like that. A lot of people are saying that what carries that game is the main character and the combat, and a lot of people like the music as well. But I hear a lot of the story is just kind of a bit cliched and, you know, not anything super creative or interesting. But then I don't know how similar it is to Nier Automata. I know it looks like it in terms of like what they were going for, and I know it's absolutely inspired by Nier. It's not even, of course it is. It's as much as inspired by Nier as Pizza Tower is inspired by Wario Land, right? I'm trying to think of a comparison. As oh, I can't think of the name of the game. There's this not Sonic clone. It's not Sonic, but like it's inspired by Sonic, heavily inspired by Sonic. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? A lot of games do get inspired by each other. There's nothing wrong with that. But it is funny where there is a game that's just like, here's not Resident Evil by someone who by the team that isn't Capcom. You know, here's a game that just looks like it might as well just be Resident Evil, but a different team made it. It wasn't Capcom. You know what I mean? There's necessarily anything wrong with that, but it's just kind of, think of it like a if I was a developer, I would just kind of be like, I'm somewhat flattered that someone liked my game that much that they wanted to make their own sort of, you know, version of my game. You know? Where it's like, that's neat. That's cool, you know? Like, they don't copy, it's not like they took your shit and copied the characters, but the characters and you know, even like the potential appeal of the game and the story and stuff, and the theme of the game is very similar, right? not necessarily anything wrong with that. I mean, dude, we have like 7 billion first-person shooters, you know? Footloose is the opposite. Cloud. Wow. They almost... The words came out of my mouth. I didn't really process what came out of my mouth, okay? Sometimes... See, what you have to understand is that sometimes words come out of my mouth before my brain can catch up. You know, they just ran... Just like verbal garbage. Just shit just comes out of my mouth, and half the time I don't know what I'm saying, dude. Just it's just that's just how I am, I guess. Oh, actually,
Here they come.
goodbye. Wait, does dying just now going to count against you again? Are you supposed to quit instead of restarting? No, you can restart. You can restart because it takes you back to the beginning. The issue is that if you don't restart and you start at a checkpoint, obviously what happens is you lose all those points you got before you got that checkpoint, which means it's very unlikely you're going to get the A rank because you're missing too many points. So you have to click restart to start so you end up starting at the beginning of the stage so you can get those points that you essentially lost for dying, right? It's but you know what game sort of does that? I think, is it Generations, where I think if you die in that, if you die in that once, even I want to say even if you die at the beginning, the game will like knock off a rank where you can't get like the best rank, so you have to like start proper start again and then not die, and then you get the A rank or whatever. But in this game, it's just as long as you restart to the beginning of the stage, you have the best chances to obviously get an A rank. It's just because you lose the points, right? That's it.
I knew we could do it.
So if I die, it's like gotta go back to the beginning, right? There's just no point. There's no point wasting my time thinking I can somehow get enough points. No. I mean, who knows? There might be someone out there who has done it, but I ain't about to waste time trying to take that risk. You know what I'm saying? I just want to get it done. Out of my way. Why won't you? Okay. Sometimes I wonder if I'm just like missing some points, but I also don't know why, you know. I gotta ask though, BGS, if you can even tell me, and I want you to be honest here.
Doesn't look like we'll be able to move on.
Eve or 2B? Which, if you had to pick, you can't pick both. There's only one. Which one wins? 2B or, oh my god. No, don't. 2B or Eve. Specifically those two. I know there are like other androids and like the Neo, but I'm specifically talking about 2B. Specifically because 2B is the one I see the most. I feel like she has the most art of her, shall we say. And I'm just talking illustrations. I'm not talking like the more Rule 34 shit. I'm sure there's a ton of Rule 34 of her. And Eve, probably. Most likely. But gotta talk about something, so this is currently what we're talking about. Fuck. Yeah, you gotta choose. You gotta pick. I guess it's a pretty hard decision, eh? I've got no vote in this because I haven't played the games. I mean, okay, sure, I could just vote them on character designs alone, but it's like, nah, you know what? I haven't played these games, so I'm just gonna, you know. I don't know about these points, dude. I don't know about these points. Hello, Footloose. Is there a... yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm missing so many points, though. Am I missing something?
Hey, are they trying to take us down to the swamp?
I don't know. Nice to see. Nice to see you lot popping in for one of these rando streams. We've just been talking about like representation of like female characters in video games and how like a lot of characters these days they have to look a certain way for like sexual appeal, otherwise the woke people or certain fans will be like, I don't care about this character because they ugly or they're not appealing to me or whatever, and unfortunately that's just what it's like now. That's what we're talking about. Very, very interesting stuff. I'll have you there. While I constantly fail at these damn ranks, nah, that is what is I don't understand. What do I need to do to get more points? Must I pray to the Sonic Heroes gods? I don't get it. I didn't die that time. I restarted. What is... Kill me.
I'm counting on you guys.
Pray to your Metal Overlord. Christ. God damn it, Metal Sonic. I'll get to you eventually. He's still waiting, by the way. Choose wisely. 2B, at the end of the day, I love Eve, and she shows more emotion than 2B. But gotta go with 2B. Fair enough. Oh, you heard it here, folks. 2B has the better booty. you heard it here. You heard it here, folks. Boop. But then you got all these ass games. Clearly we need a collaboration with 2B, Bayonetta, and Eve. Is there any other like major ass games? I know like you could debate that Street Fighter character girls do have some booty and stuff, but to be fair, that's a lot of characters. I don't know. But is there any like? Is there any other games that just like focuses on that? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. I'm a fake butt. I'm serious, like, where am I missing the points? I don't think it's me being too slow, is it?
I heard about those black frogs being able to somehow kill plants.
I don't think so. I really don't know.
Why did those black frogs do this?
It's no use. Let's check somewhere else.
Don't know. Annoying. I don't want to look up a guide. Did I miss to talk about the Android waifu? Not specifically the Android waifu. Just women, just female characters in general. I even brought up Jade Footloose from Dragon Quest XI again. Now Jessica. If you know me, you know I love me some Jessica for multiple reasons. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish there was more Dragon Quest Heroes just so I can see more Jessica in 3D, because god damn, that model is kind of underrated. Damn it, give me a Dragon Quest 8 remake on like modern consoles, please. Fuck, what do I need to do to get points around here? There is this Nikkei mobile game or something that has collabed with both Celebrate. Yeah, I think I've sort of seen it. Yeah, I think I saw it. Someone brought it up in some video. I can't remember what video. I was watching someone and someone was like, "Oh, hey, this collaboration," and like all I saw was that people are like, if you think 2B is somewhat provocative in the games. Apparently in this collab, they gave her like the Chun-Li thick thighs, and everyone was like, "Holy thighs! What did they do to her?" She's got them sexy thighs going on now, and it's like, oh, okay, all right. I think I can understand what type of game that is. I'm assuming it's probably a anime waifu mobile game, if I had to guess. But they probably do stuff like shoot people or something. But it's mostly just probably anime waifu goon squad, whatever. The goon squad. Annihilate. Dude, I just want points, and I'm like, where do I go for more points? What am I missing, you know? I don't get it. Okay, we're gonna wait. Do I need more rings? No problem. Do you really think? Does getting hit takes points away? I'm pretty sure it doesn't, no. You lose rings, right? But I'm pretty sure it doesn't. But then again, I might have to pay attention to that. But I want to say I'm like 90% sure no. But it'd be interesting if I've been wrong this entire time, and I just didn't know about it. I actually think I'm losing points though. When the Black Frog actually. I think when the Black Frog actually does what it does, I think I actually lose points. Because I'm not getting those points. The Black Frog is. I think.
There he is again.
So I actually kind of want to do this myself. And then... But I'm actually going to try and pay attention to that now. Because now I'm curious. Not that I'm a 100% Sonic Heroes expert. I also feel, you know what? I also feel like I have more. I had like Team Blast before here, and I don't know why, and now I don't. Not really sure. If it wasn't a mobile game with all the microtransactions and all that, I'd be interested. Oh man, at least you know what you like, eh? And yeah, don't hide it. We don't kink shame here, dude. I get it. You know, like and I admit it. Part of the appeal of Ever Crisis for me is all of the Tifa outfits. 90% of Tifa outfits. It's like 2 I'm not the biggest fan of, but part of the appeal is absolutely getting to see Tifa in all these different costumes. Some of them cool, some of them are just straight up beachwear, like 3 times. We're also getting another Tifa beachwear costume soon. I'm probably gonna try and get that if I can. No, don't kill me! Don't kill me! I'm just gonna do this. Hit him! Did I lose rings? I don't know. So I'm at 20k here, but that doesn't... That feels, what's the word? It feels low. Get that enemy over there. Like, I feel like I'm scrimping for points. I'm like, where are the points? You know what I mean? That's what it kind of feels like. I'm like, where are the points? Am I missing something? I don't know. I really don't know. Like, doesn't it tally your ring total at the end? It does. I figure getting hit and reducing the amount of rings you could have at the end. I mean, yeah, sure, losing rings is partly a problem. But I want to say it's not... It doesn't affect me that deeply. At least it shouldn't do.
Doesn't look like we'll be able to move on.
No problem. Let's get moving.
Well, that's stupid.
It's a swamp, so be careful.
We're going to be here for a minute. We're going to be here for a minute. Aren't we? I think we need some more conversations.
Here they come.
Omega, attack them!
Eggman's robot must be eliminated.
Oh god, turn the camera, please. Danger.
Level up! Hurrah!
I'm looking. I'm looking.
I'll take it from here! Hurrah! Hurrah!
Anything over here? Nope.
Here they come.
Oh, come on.
This big robot won't be so dangerous if we can knock him over.
Yes, I know.
Level up!
Oh, camera.
I'll take it from here. Come on.
I'll take it from here! Why did those black frogs do this?
It's no
Unless the time bonus in this case is actually a big deal. I don't know. Really don't know.
I'll take it from here. Level up.
Dude. Okay.
Here we go!
I'll take it from here.
Here we go. Just don't kill me, okay?
Chaos control.
So I've played a lot of Mario Kart World. I've played a decent amount. I wouldn't say, I don't know if I'd say a lot. If you mean you can see me online, well, I mean, the thing is, I don't have my PS5, and I'd rather be playing that if I'm absolutely honest. So, you know, in my downtime, I've just been trying to play it every now and again. To be honest, I am just kind of playing it because it's just kind of like the new thing. I think it's fine. I like it, right? The thing is with Mario Kart, and I've always been like this. I've always preferred Crash Team Racing, and I still do. Apparently, a Mario Kart World's getting a lot of hate because it's a little bit different with how it's structured. But I actually kind of like that it's a bit different. You know, again, I don't think Mario Kart World is a bad game, right? I think it's good. I actually like the new mechanics that you can like jump and like grind on various different things, grind on walls. It's honestly impressive, like, again, speedrunners, again, coming in and doing all sorts of crazy, like, you know, grind tech and stuff, right? I've always just preferred Crash Team Racing because Crash Team Racing is much more of a skill-based game Mario Kart World is 100% mostly carried by its items. You can be like quote unquote the best player, but if someone gets a blue shell, it's over for you. If someone gets a lightning, it might also be over for you. You know, all it takes is just like one slip up, one mistake, one item to hit you, and then like 10, 15 races pass you. See, that's another thing, right? This time around, there's like 24 races, so there's actually more races this time in a race, right? There's actually a lot more races this time. But like the one thing I didn't like about Mario Kart, and this was in Mario Kart 8, was like I'll do like the single player Grand Prix stuff, right? And I'll get to first place. I'm almost at the end, and then obviously what happens? I get screwed over by a blue shell, and then I lose. And the thing that sucks about the Grand Prix is that if you want to get a 3-star, you have to win every race. So the amount of times that I tried doing this again in Mario Kart World, where I got screwed over and I just couldn't get first place, and then I have to start all over again. Now, if I was playing CTR, it would be mostly down to skill. And so it really would be down to get good. Whereas Mario Kart to me has always been that game where it's like, it's not even so much about getting good, really. Sure, there's a bit of skill there, but you ain't kidding me. That game is carried by items. It just is, right? It absolutely is. I can be in 24th and then use like 2 items, and then suddenly I'm in first and I just win. And someone could have like the most flawless run until I came along with an item, and then it's over. Whereas with CTR, the thing with CTR, and this is the thing, Mario Kart is way more friendly of a kart racer, and I think it's to its benefit. If you're someone who wants more skill, then it's Crash Team Racing, because in Crash Team Racing, you can be so good that a blue shell does nothing to you. I'm not kidding. Especially in Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. If you play that game, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, no. Where am I going? What is a job for me? From where? What? 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 I was so fucking confused, dude, and I just fell off. This sucks. This is the worst stage yet. We might not even get it done. We might not even get it done. This is such a shame, dude. I done like, what, 2 stages? That's it? I can't really stream much longer, so... See, but you know what? I am glad I'm streaming more often, just so I can so I can waste so much time fucking failing, so I can just do this shit again, over and over again.
We can't even scratch that up. Switch to power formation, Omega. Level up.
All right. That's what I think. Tied. Did I? No. Okay. Well, you know what? That was my fault.
It's a swamp, so be careful.
I think I'm okay because I think that's at the beginning of the stage. I say that. I think.
Here they come.
Omega, attack them.
Eggman's robots must be eliminated.
Maybe I should Chaos Control more. I really don't know. You know? I don't know. I don't understand. I'm not trying to get in your face. Please, get me out. Fucking bullshit, dude. Get out of my face. Jesus. Trying to do something else. I didn't see you online, just figured you'd be playing it. Don't know any other games. Yeah, that's the thing, there's nothing else to play. There's nothing new on the Switch yet, not until Donkey Kong comes out, and I doubt I'll be getting Donkey Kong immediately, because, well, mostly because my financial, don't do it again, Jesus, mostly because of my financial situation is not very good at the moment, so if anything, I need to cut back, but I have to pay for other things that are more important, so I definitely do want to give the new Donkey Kong a try, though, because it is a 3D platformer. I know a lot of people say bad things about, what is it, DK64, but I haven't played Mario Odyssey yet either. That's something that's on my list to eventually get. But I know a lot of people praise Mario Odyssey, and I know that the team behind this game, well, I didn't know that was up there. The team behind the new Donkey Kong game is the team behind Odyssey, the same team. So, and honestly, it looks good. It looks good, and I like my 3D platformers. So I'll definitely give it a try at some point. I just don't think it'll be right away, because again, financial issues, you know. Excuse me. As I say, with Mario Kart World, I like the gooning costumes of the princesses. Just wish Pauline would have another one. She'll probably get one in DLC more than likely, but I just wish she had more than one. I think it's a little bit of a little bit criminal. I mean, look, she's literally in another game now as like a teenager or whatever. I'm not gonna get into that. We already talked about that. And she only has one costume? Such a shame. Such a shame. I know she's only like now returning, but still, like, such a shame she only has, well, one different costume than her regular costume, which is obviously her dress that she always wears, right? She doesn't even wear like her mare outfit from Odyssey. She doesn't even have that. She just has one costume, that's it. Such a shame. But hey-o. Again, fun game, very pretty. It's just sometimes, you know, because I'm mostly a single player guy, it's definitely, Mario Kart World is definitely that game where I feel like you just have way more fun playing with friends. You just do. You know. Whereas you throw me in CTR and I will basically just go so fast I can outrun the blue shell. Because again, it's skill based. Which again sucks for someone who isn't skill based, because then if you go up against a player who can literally just lap you 3 times and items do nothing, then you sit there and you're like, what's the point of items? Well, they're there depending on how good the players are, you know. Obviously, if you're up against people with equal skill, then items will be useful. But if you're up against someone who's like way better than you, then items probably not going to be as useful to you, sadly. That's just how the game is. That's how it's always been, you know. Mario Kart World is the more friendly, where it's just like, just use items, have fun, or don't. Or don't when you're in first place and then suddenly you're in last. So many rages, you know, but that's, to me, that's just like, that's Mario Kart. Why is that over there? There's like points over there, but I don't know how to get to those points. And I do wonder about that. Oh my god. What the what happened? What happened? What? I got stuck and I died. Lovely. This game just keeps getting better and better. Alright, I think this is going to be my last attempt, so hopefully we'll make it a good one, and then whatever will be is will be, because it's getting on and I need to kind of go. So if we don't get it here, then we don't get it here, and we'll be back on Friday doing this again. So I hope you're not sick of this level yet. because I don't have much hope of getting it done. Not today. Either this stage wants to play bull. Okay, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. That was me making a stupid mistake. That doesn't count. At least let me get through a decent chunk of the stage, and then if I die, I'll give it up. Dude, you're just fighting the controls. You're just fighting the controls. You're just constantly fighting the controls. That's what you're doing. Give me the point. You're just constantly fighting the controls. I'm just trying to figure out where I'm missing points, you know what I mean? A lot of the time.
Here they come.
Get out of there, you idiot. Like I said, give me a fair college try. The problem is, this always fucking happens. I always say the last try, and then I die immediately, and then I'm like, well, that's not really fair, but I said last try. This fucking game. Why do I like it again? Fuck me, I don't know. I'm starting to regret ever liking this game. I changed my mind. I don't want a Sonic Heroes 2. Not if this is what we get. I don't want this. This is shit. You can keep it. You can fucking keep that shit. I don't want it. Fucking bullshit, dude.
Here they come.
Dude, this right there.
Level up.
The Black Frog has the ability to destroy vegetation.
Why did those black frogs do this?
It's no use. Let's check somewhere else.
Ugh. Rah-rah-rah. Good.
I'll take it from here. Level up. Let's go.
Yeah.
Chaos control.
Level up!
Okay. Alright. Am I missing anything over here? Not really. Okay.
There's that black frog again.
Fire. Fire. The torpedoes. The last time is now. If Reggie was still with Nintendo, that would have came with the system. I read his book and he pushed hard for Wii Sports to be a pack-in title. Yeah, I did hear about that. I definitely did hear about that. Have a look. There was one mission before that you had a Dino for in a clear time like 8 minutes, but then when you did it again, you had 7 minutes and 20 seconds. Yeah, I just don't think that made much of a difference, but you never know. Nintendo Switch welcome to? Oh boy. I forgot about that. It's because it doesn't matter. Because it's not Astrobot. What about Sonic All-Stars Racing Transform? That game is hard too. Yes. It can be Footloose. You're talking about the single player campaign. But the thing is Footloose. And I mean, I can't say this for sure, but the one thing I will say about Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed is that, at least in the single player mode, when you're doing like the Grand Prix or whatever, the Grand Tour, whatever it is hard if you're doing the harder difficulties. But that's the thing, you can change the difficulties, right? I know, like, eventually if you want to unlock everything, I suppose you have to do all the higher difficulties. But if we're just talking like casually, you technically just do the lower stuff, right? Or just do the regular stuff. You don't have to do everything, right? You don't really have to do everything. I feel like it only gets hard when you do the harder stuff. When you have to do like the higher difficulty, in my opinion. Do you jump off here? I'm very confused.
There he is again.
Like, there's a point. There's actually points over there. Like, do I need to get the points? Is that what it is? I don't know.
There he is again.
Yeah, like, I actually want to get the points. The black frog that I feel like the black frog steals. But I you know what it is? I feel like I should have more points. You know? That's just kind of what I feel like. I feel like I should have more points. But I don't. But that's just what I feel like.
I'll take it from here. Come on.
I'll take it from here.
Come on.
Here they come.
Just feels like I should have. Like I'm hardly. But yeah, I don't know.
I knew we could do it.
Don't let your guard down just yet.
I'll take it from here.
Oh god.
All right.
All right. This is a good attempt. So whatever happens now is whatever happens now.
You got it.
I don't. Oh. Dude, this wasn't here before.
Natural.
Like, it just wasn't. I don't care what anyone says. I mean, who knows? Maybe BGS could be onto something that, in this case, this would be like one of the few times where timing might actually be more important than getting points, because there's just not enough points to go around, so you have to get a time bonus or something. I really don't know. I don't really want to look any of this up if I can help it. I want to just figure it out myself, but I guess we'll find out.
Let's go.
I'm invincible. Let's go.
Come on. Come on.
I'll take it from here. Okay. Doesn't look like we'll be able to move on.
No problem. Let's get moving.
Okay. As I say, I can't fucking see because this camera angle is
Did you guys
dog shit. Why is the camera angle like that, dude? Dude. Seriously. Oh my god. God. So bad.
Chaos control. I'll take the win.
Annihilate.
There he is again.
Again. Giant frogs. Croak. I read on the cutting room floor that Chaos Control lasts 5 seconds on PS2, but it lasts 10 seconds on other versions. Huh. A lot of differences actually between versions. Very odd stuff. The more you know. I can't see the A rank. Where is it hiding? A rank is pulling a Cena. Any of you ever got an A in school? Not in GCSEs, I didn't. The only A I ever got was in my first year of high school. And it was for baking muffins. So, it was in a cooking class. It was the only A in my entire life. It all went downhill from there. I just want to have a look at this. At Team Dark 40,000, and I feel like I'm nowhere close. Maybe you're right, VGS. Maybe this one specifically is a time-based thing. Like, you've got to find a balance between... I mean, okay, I got hit there and I lost some rings. If that really is a massive factor in as well, which I don't know if it is. I really don't know. Why didn't you instantly die? That's weird. Like, I'm not very confident in this at all. At all. But, who knows? Actually, you know what? If I had more rings, I might have been close, maybe? I think it's 40,000 is what we need. The closest... We got, like... 40,000? 30,000 last time or something like that. So, yeah, maybe I'm just too slow. Maybe I need to just do this faster. Well, if we fail here, we'll try again next time and see. Maybe I just need to actually focus on moving just a tad faster. I don't know. We'll find out. That's by design. I wonder how many A ranks I got in this game, too, if I'm lucky. You do too good and they'll just throw harder shit at you. No A ranks at school for me, man. But I'm not too good at my kart races, so maybe it's just a skill thing. Like taking about 40 minutes to beat Pinstripe. No, okay. Wait, is that it? I don't know what I did, but I'll take it. Just. Oh, yes. Hallelujah. I'm so slightly happy. Fucking relieved, dude. Jesus. Alright, well. Confirmed. Alright. You see it on stream. It's fucking done. Alright. We've still got 1, 2, 3, 4 stages left for Shadow. And then we've got to do Team Rose and Chaotix. Christ alive. Christ alive.
Christ alive.
Right, let me wrap up on chat, and then we'll definitely call it there. That was the last proper session, and we did it. Or proper attempt. Stuck with it. But no, Footloose, what I was going to say... No, Pinstripe is hard. Pinstripe is hard. Crash Team Racing is a hard game. Crash Team Racing is a hard kart racer. It is. It straight up is. So, don't feel bad because that is a hard game, and Pinstripe is annoying. Like, he just is, right? So, no, that's definitely not really on you. It's, I mean, okay, you can say skill issue because it is a skill-based game mostly, but that game is actually difficult. It is. And that is by design. It is a more difficult kart racer. Some parts of this music sound like from Sonic Spinball. I kept wondering why it sounded so familiar all this time. I don't think there's any Spinball music, but, you know, Sonic music, maybe something about it maybe something about it reminded you, but there's no Spinball music as far as I know. I'm pretty sure there's no Spinball music in this game. God. I see the A's. You'll have to see it. Well, I wasn't saying it was time-based, I was most... I think it was just one of those things where it kind of seemed like it, you know, but it was just, I got more points elsewhere, if you know what I mean. As far as I know. If it was anything like classic Sonic, you'd have to like beat the stage in like 35 seconds to get like a massive time bonus. You love to see it. I mean, yeah. Yeah, most of Roses is just B's, really. So it's just like I'm slightly off. Rose is obviously the easiest one, right? But, you know, and this is, you know, we're doing the regular stuff, and then we've got to do all the challenge missions afterwards. So that's fun. Is there any challenge? There's no challenge missions for boss fights. No, okay. All right. Well, thank you for joining me. Appreciate you a lot. We're gonna wrap it up for today. I should hopefully be back on Friday. Hopefully. Hopefully. I'm just wondering, before we go, I just want to check something real quick. Before we cool off. Yeah, before we cool off. I forget how you do this, to be honest. I was thinking of raiding because I haven't done that in a minute, but I forget how to raid. Okay. I will attempt to try and raid. There is someone I can raid to. I'm gonna hop off, but if I can raid, great. If it doesn't work, then don't worry about it. But I'll just let you guys know that we're ending the stream. So I'll see if I can raid. Let's see. It's been a minute, so and then is that right?